Okay, so what if pretty much everything we've been taught about money is, well, just plain wrong? We're about to dive into some really powerful, sometimes kind of controversial ideas from the classic Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And this isn't just about getting rich quick, it's about completely reframing your entire relationship with wealth. It's the big question, right? The one that can really get you thinking. And the answer, at least according to this philosophy, has almost nothing to do with getting a bigger paycheck. It's all about understanding a secret that the wealthy seem to debt and the rest of us don't. And right here, this is the core idea. We're all conditioned to chase a higher salary. But true, lasting wealth, it isn't about what flows into your bank account. It's about what you do with that money once it's there. It's about keeping it, and more importantly, putting it to work for you. To really get this, we need to get two definitions straight, and they're super simple. First up, an asset. Forget all the complicated jargon. An asset is simply anything that puts money in your pocket. Period. Think of it like a little money-making machine that you own.
And on the flip side, you've got a liability. This is just as simple. It's anything that takes money out of your pocket. It's a financial drain you have to keep feeding month after month.
So really, it all comes down to this one simple distinction. Every single dollar you spend is basically a choice. Are you buying something that's going to pay you back down the line, or are you buying something you'll have to keep paying for? All right, let's get a little controversial, shall we? We've been told our entire lives that buying a house is the best investment you can make, that it's your biggest asset. But if we stick to these super strict definitions we just learned, is that really true? And boom, here's the bombshell. Your home, the one you live in, is actually a liability. Now why? Because every single month, money is flowing out of your pocket for the mortgage, for property taxes, for insurance, for upkeep. It doesn't put a dime in your pocket, it just takes money out. So, if the big goal is to stop loading up on liabilities, what are you supposed to do instead? Well, the strategy is incredibly simple and it's so powerful. You just focus on one thing, relentlessly building up your asset column. I'm guessing this looks pretty familiar to most of you. This is the standard cash flow pattern. That paycheck hits your account and whoosh, it's immediately pulled right back out for taxes, rent, or mortgage, the car payment, you name it. It's this endless cycle of earning just to spend, what's famously called the rat race. But now, look at this. This is the game changer. The wealthy focus on buying assets first, things like stocks, rental properties, or businesses that generate their own income. Then, that income from the assets pays for their lifestyle and their liabilities. You see the huge difference? Their assets pay their bills, not their 9-to-5 job. Okay, so it goes even deeper than just buying assets. There's another layer to this. The wealthy often use financial structures and strategies that, believe it or not, are available to every single one of us, but are only understood by a few. They're literally playing a different game. One of the biggest secrets is the corporation. And no, we're not just talking about massive multinational companies. A simple personal corporation can act like a financial fortress for you, protecting what you own and, maybe most importantly, offering you massive advantages when it comes to taxes. Here's how the magic works. Most of us go through this flow. We earn money, we immediately pay taxes on it, and then we spend whatever is left over. A corporation completely flips that on its head. The corporation earns, then it spends on all its legitimate expenses, things like your phone, travel, maybe even part of your car. And then you pay tax only on the much smaller amount that's left. It's a total game changer. Now here's another rule that kind of goes against everything we're normally taught. We always hear about diversification, right? Spread your risk. Yeah, you know the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But this philosophy argues that when you're just starting out, that's maybe exactly what you should do. Think about it. Spreading a small amount of cash and, more importantly, a small amount of your attention across a dozen different things, it's like trying to water a whole garden with just one little cup of water. Nothing's going to grow. Instead, you focus all your energy and resources on one or two things you can become an expert in. That's how you get explosive growth. So you can see how all these strategies, understanding assets versus liabilities, using corporations, focusing your investments, they all hinge on one single thing. And it happens to be the most important asset you will ever own. It's not a hot stock, it's not a piece of real estate, it's not even a business. So what on earth could it be? It's your mind. Simple as that. Your financial intelligence is the engine that drives everything else. Without it, you could win the lottery tomorrow and you'd probably be broke again in a few years. But with it, you can build a fortune from literally nothing. So, how do you actually build this intelligence? Well, it stands on four key pillars. You've got accounting, which is just the language of money. You've got investing, the science of making your money make more money. You need to understand markets, basically supply and demand. And finally, the law, knowing how to use the rules, like corporations and taxes, to your advantage. This is your new homework. And all this leads to the ultimate mindset shift. Stop working just for a paycheck. Start working to learn. Every job you take, every project you start is a chance to pick up a new skill, a new piece of knowledge that's going to help you build that asset column for the rest of your life. So we end right back where we started. Achieving financial freedom isn't really about your salary. It's about your education and your mindset. It all starts with the decision to invest in the most powerful tool you have, you. The knowledge is out there, waiting. The only real question left is, what's your next move going to be?